Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you a bunch of different kind of journal ideas for making with paper bags, lunch bags, gift bags, and that kind of thing. So here's a few different journal examples that I've made. This one here is a lunch bag. I have some gift bags that I buy at the dollar store or I've received gifts from and then I keep them and I recycle and repurpose these bags. So you can do any size bag from these very large ones to a very small one. And they all work. And there's so many different ways you can use these bags. You can cut them on the sides, you can fold them up. And I'm planning to do a series of different bags. Here's a lunch bag journal, and I just did this with some coloring book pages last year and had these little glued the signatures in. I just had each single signatures in these, and I left the ends there as pockets, and then it opens up and you can put treat stickers, more coloring pages, whatever in there. So this is one example of a little scrap journal type of thing that was fun to make. I also have lots of other types of bags here, so I just use these regular size lunch bags for this journal. And moving on, I'm going to show you that this one is a big shopping bag type of journal. I think it had shoes in it or something, and there's my flap in the bottom. I cut off the top and then I removed the handles and put them on the edges, sewed them in, and that kind of thing. So that's that journal. So you can use any bag, you can chop it up any way and use it as a journal to make for sketchbooks. You can put watercolor paper, you can do whatever, you can make it into a junk journal. Here's one I made for Cora out of those little party bag type of little colored ones you see. I took the handles out and then I just placed them to where I wanted. Actually, this one I used two bags like these, and then I just cut down the side here and split it down, opened up the bag, and then sewed them together. So that's what I did with that. And then I put junk papers, painted papers, and that kind of thing in there, scrap papers, things that I thought I wasn't going to really use, but they're really pretty, you don't want to get rid of, and I can use them up that way. Cora can do some journaling and all that kind of thing, has some coloring pages in there, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a way to use up some of your stash that you don't just want to feel like you want to throw out, and you feel like you can do something fun. And I just cut down the edge here and opened it up, and that's how I sewed the bottom. So the bottom part is the flap, and the top is the top of the bag for that part. And what else do I have to show you here? I think that's about it. I have these little bags here, and these ones you can just put little rings in them. I have these little holes, and I just thought, I don't know, I was playing with this, making little rings, but I mean, you can cut them up, open them up, do whatever. There's no wrong. You can just craft on the bag in any weird way that makes you happy. As you can see here, I just did this little kind of paint on a bag, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I could cut it open, turn it into a journal cover, but that's what I did. So play with bags, different bags, you can find different things to do with. And we're going to get started and using this type of bag here, gluing the edge down, making a little flap, and we're going to make this into a little small paper bag journal. So after cutting these pieces here, I'm placing them here like this, and I'm going to leave the signature or the center open to glue down some signatures. And that's what I want to do with this particular bag. So I'm going to leave the flap open, so that's why I didn't cover it all. I wanted to have a little flap in there. And I'm just going to use regular PVA glue to glue these pieces of paper, scrap paper really, because I just been probably taking photographs on them or using them somewhere in my art, but I haven't done anything else more with them, so they're still in good condition and good enough to cover the back of my bag here. So I'm just going to put some PVA glue on both of these and adhere them to my bag and give it kind of a finished look on my inner covers of my bag. And I like to press it down really well on my edges so they're not sticking up. I use a bone folder or something hard to kind of press it down in there. And can even use a paper napkin and that kind of thing, or I mean a paper towel, and just, you know, rub around in there and get it nice and flat. It'll look great. And then I'm just going to do my other side here, and as you can see I have my space in between for my signatures to get glued in. So here I am just now going to glue my little edges down, so then this bottom flap of my bag will become a little flap for a tag or something in there, a little peekaboo spot that will have a little something in there. And now I'm just folding my bag over to make an extra little crease for my spine of my book. So then I know exactly where I'm placing my signatures. I have a place to sit for them to sit, and they're not just going to be right, you know, when you fold in half, there's that little one point. That way they can kind of sit a little bit more evenly and have room to breathe, and when I glue them in they won't be slipping around, they'll be right in that spine area. And I like to do that, and I use something like a bone folder or pen or whatever I have in hand. I'm using a little bone folder just to make that little spine there, and it works great because it keeps my stuff kind of organized into where my signatures are, and if it won't slip around, then they'll stay in that center. And this is what I have so far. I'm really happy with it. It's looking really good. I have this part where I can put little goodies in. I have my front cover here that I'm going to work on, and I have the leftover piece of that cardstock here. So I'm going to glue that down. I found a piece of art that I've had painted last year, I believe, and Mickey and Minnie. I made a little art card, Rolodex type of thing, and I'm going to place it on here for this little journal. Use up my art pieces. So if you have any leftover ATCs or art cards, this is a perfect way to use them up if you haven't found a place to put them. That way you can make a little journal and have your little pieces of work, and you can give them away as gifts and that kind of thing, and they're pretty cute. You could also do different collages and that kind of thing, paint on it, but today I decided to use something that I've had lying around that I should probably use up. Just sitting around as an art card is a good way to get lost or damaged. So having it adhere to a nice little journal that I'm going to give as a gift is a really nice, I think, way to share my art. So I'm just going to do the same thing with the PVA glue and glue that in there, and as well the picture that I have there. And I like to press it down with like paper towel and just kind of rub it around in there so it's sticking all around the edges and not popping up. So I'm just going to stick that down, probably use my bone folder, and maybe not. I have to do voiceover because I was too quiet in my original video, which really sucks because I really like to have like where I feel like I'm chatting with you guys while I'm crafting. But today it was just not loud enough, and I knew that some people would not be able to hear me, so I didn't want to upset anyone. And here I'm doing the same thing with the now card. Just putting the PVA glue and placing it on my front, so that when you hold the little book by the little handles, you can see Mickey and Minnie are sitting up nicely. And I put it off kilter a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a, I don't know, cute little look. I like it. And like I said before, I just press that down in there until I'm happy that my edges are all sticking with paper towel, and rubbing it around. And that's how that works. I really think it turned out to be cute. As you can see here, I'm just using some cardstock here to make some signatures. As you can see, the step that I just passed, I was collecting my paper signatures, and now I'm just cutting them up. I cutting them to size with my paper cutter here. And even this doily that's hanging over today, I decided with this particular journal I didn't want any pieces hanging over. I wanted that neat look. And so if you have papers, doilies, don't be afraid to cut them. It'll look good. And I think sometimes you can have things hanging over or whatever, but for this particular one I just wanted it nice and clean. And I decided on 3 signatures of 5 papers, I believe. And this is just regular cardstock that I found. That's like children's type of cardstock, a little thicker than the stuff you buy at the store, a tad thicker student children type of cardstock that I found. I had it for so long I don't know where I received it from, where I picked it up. Now I decided that I'm going to glue these signatures in. And I have 3 signatures with 5 pages, and I made my spine in my book. So it's just this matter of kind of lining it up, putting it in there. Because I only have a few signatures, it's much easier than if I had a ton of them and I was squishing and having a lot of pressure. But this is no pressure on this, and perfect size. It's not bulging or anything, so they're going to sit in there really nice, which is the one really important reason you got to make a spine. So then your papers do sit in there nice, and they're not sitting in like the little V part. If you only had one fold in there, the papers wouldn't sit flat on the spine. So that's the key thing to do for any type of journal that you're gluing in, for sure. And then for the first layer, I just add glue, not dripping, but PVA glue to my edge, back edge. And just like when they're glue binding books, I'm doing the same thing, except for after this part, I take the inside signature pages out, and I one by one glue them in, push them down with my bone folder. So that's what I'm doing. It's a pretty easy concept. Works great for me when I decided to do it this way. So I thought today, because not everyone wants to sew, I don't always want to sew something, or even, make holes, put stitches through it, or anything like that. Today I just wanted to do it this way. There's many ways to do it. As I showed you my other book, paper bag book, that book's been made, it has been made a year ago, and is still going strong, not ripping. The pages are stuck in there, and it works pretty good. So you can just do that, where you're pushing each individual signature in, down, pressing against the back of the spine. And I do this every time I add a page as well. But for now, I have all the signatures in there as I'm pushing them in the spine here, because my outer pages are now glued in. And then that's what I do. Now I just have to take them apart and do each of them one by one. this is the outcome of the book, so it looks pretty good. All that's really left now is just to decorate the pages and make them in little nooks and tucks and stuff like that. This book here is, like I said earlier, a year old. I made this lunch bag book, and the signatures are all glued in, and it's holding on really well. I want to show that again. And then with this one, it's going to be the same thing. The other ones in that lunch bag one are single signatures. This one has like 5 pages, but I just glue them into each other, as you've seen, and push them in with a ruler, or you can do them with a ruler, or I did them with my bone folder. And then I just check my edges now. This is like 5 minutes after gluing them, so they're not really dry, but I'm just checking to see if any pages are stuck together, and if they are a bit, I kind of pull them apart, and that's what I'm doing at this point. It's just kind of checking my pages, pulling them apart, and seeing if I have any pages stuck together. And I noticed I have a little bit of glue that I maybe touched the side of the page with some glue as I'm putting it in, or it just kind of seeped up a bit. But that's what you do at this point, is just kind of separate anything that kind of glued to each other, and it works really well to do that when it's a little bit damp. Here, this doily kind of got stuck, and then I just unstick it with my bone folder, but that was not too hard to do. So I'm just grabbing my bone folder and just pull it through there and just unstick the page. So that's what the pages are looking like. You just kind of use doilies. You can use scraps. Like I said, I used construction paper this time, like a good quality construction paper. You can use cardstock, you can use music paper, as I did a couple. These are coloring pages in here, so I just used a variation of different things, and then I can do little spots for notes, and I can add tags to my little pockets I have on top, or make little pockets on the page. So there's lots of options to decorate this. So guys, let me know what you think and in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this project. I'm going to continue making a few more different journals, and try to do a little segment or whatever of like a playlist of different ways to make paper bag journals for you guys to have. So I'm going to continue doing this. I'm not sure how often, but whenever, I guess I'm going to try to schedule when things kind of strike me when I want to craft, to do these things. I want to craft weekly, but I'm saying, like, if I decide to do something else, I'm going to do something else. But if I decide to do another journal, I'll do a journal. But I'm going to keep it nice and easy for you guys to find in a playlist. So these are my pages. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed it, please subscribe. And also, you know, there's my signature Craft Like a Duck. But also too, guys, check out my Patreon. I have, if you want to help support this channel and a way for me to spend more time with my girls and more time on the channel, if you want to see more work, is that's a great way to help. Thanks friends for watching, and I hope to see you all soon again. Bye for now.